consultancy firm operating since 2014, and iPresence Digital Marketing Inc., an international internet marketing agency operating since 2001. He is a computer scientist by profession, but has ventures in agriculture, real estate, and renewable energy. He started learning about the stock market in 2001 after graduating from high school, and in 2011, Jaycee founded Equilyst Analytics Inc. to share his experience and expertise in data analytics with the public. He has the uncanny ability to correlate seemingly unrelated and complicated datasets and process his observations into simplified and useful information never previously thought available nor possible. Dubbed the business monk, Mr. De Guzman has been guiding thousands of Filipino stock traders and investors since 2014. With the topic Evergreen, Buying Strategies of a Profitable Trader, please welcome Mr. Jaycee De Guzman.
That was a lot. Ready for the introduction, Mark? Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So here we go. We're now going to talk about specifically about stocks. So since the title of the seminar is the Trader's Playbook 2019, can I see a raise of hand? Who among you are traders, are short-term traders, to be specific? Can I see a raise of hand? Okay. How about those who call themselves as long-term investors? Please raise your hand as well. Okay? There's a mix. So I have good news for you. What I'm going to talk about today will benefit both of you, the short-term traders and the long-term investors. Okay? One of the many things that, one of the frequently asked questions, but before I talk about the actual topic, I'd like to have a backstory. Because Mark a while back said a lot of things, a lot of good things, and sometimes nakakalula. No? Even I hear that kind of introduction. So, a few years ago, before I reached this point, how was that? What do you think? Yeah. For 8 years, I was a cigarette vendor in a cockpit arena. Would you imagine? Would you believe that? I was like that for 8 years. Okay? And there are so many things that I've learned in those 8 years. From grade 4 until the first year in college, I was a cigarette vendor in a cockpit arena. And I was just fortunate enough to get a scholarship grant from one of the states, the United States of America. And all throughout those years, I've learned a lot of things that I think I owe now. I owe today this experience na yun. Yung mga experiences ko that I learned nung nagagamit ko in trading, short in stock trading as well as long-term investing. One of them is discipline. In those 8 years, I never smoked up until now, which is quite bizarre, diba? If every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, ang hawak-hawak mo ay rim of cigarettes, and on the other hand, isang timba, buko juice, coke, soft drinks, you're walking around the cockpit arena for 5 or maybe 8 hours a day. No? It was quite bizarre for me not to, try my own products. So I never tried that. So discipline. Also, not once did I gamble. Diba? It was so tempting, yung environment mo. It was very tempting na maki-dress, 11. Who among you are familiar with those, those taglines or names pag pumupusta sila? I did not gamble. So my mindset was there. I was completely aware that I was there to earn, to support my studies while having some scholarship grants from the US. Also patience. Patience. 8 years. That wasn't a joke. Diba? Patience. Mental toughness. technical toughness as well. And lastly, I've learned at a young age how to conceptualize a business at a young age. A while back, Mark introduced me as an owner of as a co-founder of a digital marketing company. I got the idea from my selling of cigarettes, you know, as well as the business that I have today, which is in connection with stock market consultancy services. And then I learned how to save. Diba? So while I was selling cigarettes every Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, may derby, Sunday, the other day I would go to the bank to deposit how much? Most often than not, 20 pesos. And this was not solo. This was not. This didn't happen in the 1980s. This happened in 1994 up to 2001. So relatively, kailan lang. So I was depositing mga 20 pesos a day. Malaking kita, 50 pesos. So the cashiers were talking with each other. Who's that young guy? Why does he come to us every Wednesday, every Monday, and then just deposit a measly 20 pesos? Who's that guy? What does he do for a living? So, those characteristics I've learned in my experience as a cigarette vendor. So I just wanted to give you a backstory kung saan ko galing ang mga characteristics. Because, you know what? Running Equilyst Analytics, let me tell you this frankly, most of my clients, I think my role is not really as an analyst, but as a psychologist. They're going to ask you, sir, I've already lost about 80% of my capital. I understand that I need to cut my losses because I'm already trading beyond my tolerable losses or tolerable risk rather. But I don't want to cut loss. So meaning to say, no matter how, no mathematical solution or logical suggestion, could actually resolve that client's concern. So it's more about psychology, right? So it's important to have the proper mindset, regardless whether you are into short-term trading or long-term investing. Now let's go straight to stock-specific topics. Okay? I am going to share with you the blueprint of my trade setup. Blueprint of my trade setup. Who can relate with this? One of the frequently asked questions that I get, at least once in a week, is this. Sir, is it the right time to sell? That person who asked me knew when to buy, but he doesn't know when to sell at what price. Who can relate to that? Who also has that question? The stock is already in your portfolio, but still you don't know when to sell, either with gains or with limited losses. So that frequently asked question. I hope today yung FAQ na yun, mabago yung ibig sabihin ng FAQ. Maging na siyang fully answered question. Okay? And I need your participation as well. Huh? So, first, it's important not just to be an expert when it comes to identifying where you should buy. It's also equally important to be an expert in knowing when to sell. Okay? Please write that down because, many of my clients, most of their questions are about, is it the right time to sell? At what price should I sell? Okay? Once they ask those questions, once the stock is already in their portfolio. Now, in discussing this blueprint, you will learn why I do, what I do, how I do it, where I do it, and of course, when do I do it? So I am going to answer these 4 W's and 1H. Okay, so are we ready? Okay, perfect. So, who among you first? There's one common belief that I would like to dissect today. So, who among you know the buy below price strategy? Can I see raise of hand again? There's quite a lot. Okay. Next question. Who among you buy below the buy below price? If the buy below price is 100, in vernacular, that means bahala ka sa buhay mo from 99.9 hanggang 0 kung saan ka bibili. Right? Although it's unlikely for the price to surge all the way to 1 centavo, but that's technically it. No? Now, who among you say that buy below price, the buy below price strategy is only for long-term investing? Okay, I see some people who raise their hands that the buy below price is only for long-term investing. Now, this is the question. This is the one big question. Who among you want to know a better strategy that works, not just in long-term investing, but also in short-term trading? Who's game? Game? Okay, perfect. Next. Don't buy at any price below the buy below price. If there's one thing that you should write down, please write this down. And I'm going to show you, yeah, good. You take a photo using your mobile. Okay? In relation to kay kanina, kay Justine, artificial intelligence, no? Sige. Before you consider, or before tayo mag-continue doon sa nakasanayang buying below the buy below price, tabi muna natin yun. No? Let's talk about finding buy signals first. Binigyan ka ng buy below price. May signal na ba para bumili ka? That's important. Is there a signal? Baka mamaya may buy below price ka. Sell signal naman pala ang lumalabas sa chart. Wrong entry. Yung mga these are the people who get whipsawed. Especially those people who chase the stock all the way to the top. Especially when the ascending price is no longer supported with volume. Okay? Now, this is how you should search for buy signals. And what you should do to find them. A while back, I promised to you that I'm going to answer those 4 W's and 1H. So this is the answer to the how question and the what question. How should you search for buy signals and what you should do to find them? First, please take a photo of this. There are 3 criteria. Okay? Next week, come Tuesday, I can promise you that by the end of these 30 minutes, you should be able to execute all of these. Because I've made it super simple. That as soon as Tuesday comes, or as early as Sunday, you can also review everything that I'm going to share with you today. First, there should be no volatility issue. Let's simplify that. What does it mean by volatility? There should be no slim volume. Dapat yung stock, it does not exhibit flimsy volume, topsy-turvy volume. Ibig sabihin nun, alanganing bumabawi yung volume, alanganing manipis. Second criterion, the price must be above the 10-day simple moving average. Last criterion, MACD, moving average convergence divergence, should be above the signal line. Okay, let's memorize those 3. No volatility issue. Volatility issue. No volatility issue. Secondly, the price must be above the 10-day SMA. And lastly, MACD should be above the signal line. Okay? Have you taken a photo of that slide?
Yes.
We need to go back to this slide later because I'm going to show you an example of an actual chart, and you will help me determine if it's a valid buy signal according to those three criteria or not. Okay? We will have to do this together. Okay? To make it easy for you, I created a flow chart. Okay? A flow chart. I would like to emphasize one thing here. No? These three criteria must happen in this proper sequence. Hindi po pwedeng mag-alternate si price above 10 SMA kay MACD. It should be in this order. The first thing that we need to check is there no volatility issue? If the answer if there's no volatility issue, of course, you will have to proceed to the next step, which is what? You need to check. Is MACD above the signal line? Has it crossed above? When an indicator crosses above another indicator that uses a smoothing period or a moving average, we call that as a golden cross. And what's the opposite of a golden cross? What's the opposite of a golden cross?
Death cross.
Death cross. Beautiful. Okay? Now next, if the answer is a yes to the second criterion, we need to answer the third one. Is the price finally moving above the 10 SMA? If the answer is a yes, then you can do a test buy. You can do a test buy. And when you buy, please do not put all your buying power. Do not use all your buying power at once. Okay, you buy in tranches. Especially, I have some clients. I had this one client, I think last year. He bought $1 million worth of stocks in one go. In one go. So I don't advocate that. I don't advise that. You buy in tranches. You need to split your 1 million perhaps into 10 tranches or maybe 20. Okay? So you're going to have 20 tranches na take 50,000. Okay? Probably you've already read somewhere the 8,000 rule just to maximize yung 20 pesos na fee. No? So ayan. Now, if any of those three criteria fails, you will have to look back to the monitoring process. And when you monitor, balik ka doon sa checking sa first criterion. Babalik ka doon. Okay? Memorize this, hindi po pwedeng mauna si SMA kay MACD. Ganyan ang sequence. Okay? Babalikan natin yan. You've seen the next slide. It's a chart. Now, these green callouts represent a valid buy signal based on those three criteria. And the red ones, they represent invalid buy signals, of course. Let's dissect it. How did that one become a valid buy signal according to those three criteria that I gave you? Last January 26, by the way, this is VLL. I decided to make this one as an example because it was the most traded stock yesterday with more or less 1.9 billion pesos worth of total turnover value. Okay? Probably maraming gustong magtanong, sir, what can you say about VLL? Okay? That's the rustic question that I often get in the private lines forum of Equilyst Analytics. Laging ganun yung template ng pagtatanong nila. What can you say about APS? What Can you say about GME7? Can you say about PLN? Okay? Let's analyze this. Last January 26, VLL registered an intraday low of 5.85 and an intraday high of 6.50. On that same day, MACD went above or crossed above the signal line, and the price also went above the 10 SMA. Valid siya. Okay? January 26. Bakit hindi January 25? Bakit hindi January 25? Yung katabi, itong pulang ba? Meron naman siyang week sa taas na lumampas doon sa 10 SMA. Bakit hindi sa January 25? Bakit January 26 lumabas yung buy signal na confirm? The reason for that, a day before January 26, MACD was still below. By a very insignificant degree lang naman. But we have to stick with the criteria kasi it should be above the signal line. So, it did not qualify. The January 25 event did not qualify as a valid buy signal. So, pumasok siya January 26. Okay? This is, especially when it comes to short-term trading, by the way, because of the absence of an automatic stop loss in our platform, short-term trading demands a lot of time, a lot of monitoring time. While there's this order type called good till cancel, good till cancel, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin yun. Pampalit mo ng stop loss mo. Bibilin talaga nila yun kasi bargain na bargain eh. No? So kailangan mo talagang bantayan yung stop mo. So what I'm imparting with you today, ladies and gentlemen, this is not about identifying the perfect timing. This is not about teaching you how to catch the literal bottom of the stock. Because no one can actually do that. No? You cannot really catch the actual bottom of the stock. So next, January 31, if you apply 5% risk, you would have sold already dun. No? Later on, I'm going to emphasize the technique that you need to keep in mind when it comes to selling. For now, buying muna tayo. Okay, February 19. Why did it become an invalid buy signal? The price is above the 10 SMA. How about MACD? MACD is greater than the signal line, but the price had been in vernacular, matagal nang nasa taas ni 10 SMA yung price. Kailangan, nung nag-cross above the signal lines MACD, kailangan dun din lumampas yung price above the 10 SMA. It should happen in that sequence. Hindi po pwedeng naging true yung 10 SMA at saka price tandem bago naging true yung MACD at saka signal line tandem. It should happen in that chronological order that I showed you a while back. Okay? So, the same explanation, I have the same explanation for that red line. Red call out. Okay? Now, I decided to go as far as 2018 because isipin nyo, applicable lang yan sa recent data but not with historical data. That's why I decided to go as far as 2018. Tingnan natin for the most recent happenings ay VNL. Okay? Applicable pa siya. Okay. And May 29, 2018, invalid because MACD crossed above the signal line, but again, the price had been above the 10 SMA even before that happened. Oh, okay, so invalid. Dito, it's a valid one because nangyari in order yung dalawang tandem, dalawang combo. Ayan. Okay? Okay, next. So, I've already shown you in action yung no volatility issue, MACD, and the signal line, and the relationship of the price with the SMA. No? Ayan. Next. Now that the buy signals have been spotted, at least you've given a preview on how to spot a buy signal. Where and when should you buy now? We're going to answer now the where and when question. Now, to answer that, you should test buy within the range of the top 5 most traded and top 5 most voluminous prices. Mga presyo na nakatanggap ng pinakamaraming trades at mga presyong nakatanggap ng pinakamalalaking volume. Okay? Another good news. FirstMetroSec Pro has the data, has the graphical representation of those two things na kailangan natin bantayan. This. Okay? So how do you get there? How can you find the prices that got the biggest volume and the prices that got the biggest or the highest number of trades? How can you find them using FirstMetroSec Pro? I'll show you 3 steps. Let's make this a little faster. So that's number 1. You go to, of course, you have to log in first. Okay? It goes without saying. Now, after logging in, you have to click on the stock menu. And then you type in the stock code on the stock codes box. And lastly, you will have to click on volume review. After clicking on volume review, you will see this. Okay? Of all these many columns, I want you to focus on 2 columns only. And here they are. Percentage share. Any guess? Alin kaya ang column? Could it be volume traded, price, buy up, mid price, sell down, number of trades? Any guess? Okay. Should be the trades. Okay. On the percentage share column, you will find the price points that earned or got the highest volume, the biggest volume. And on the trades column, you will find the price points that earn the highest number of trades. Why is it important? Bakit hindi na lang number of trades? Bakit hindi na lang volume? Bakit dalawa? Because it's possible for a certain price point. Kunyari ito. It's possible for, let's say, 7.16 na meron siyang 1 million trades. Na, let's say 7.16, kunyari lang, it's not on the screen. Let's say 7.16 earned the biggest volume. Tapos nakita mo bakit isa lang yung trade niya. Siya yung pinakamalaking volume na nakuha, pero bakit siya yung pinakakunting trades? Ano nangyari doon? Yung mga katabi niya, tigo 100, siya nag-iisa. Pero may pinakamalaking volume siya. It could be a cross trade. So in price volume analysis, I disregard cross trades. So yun ang importance kung bakit we have to consider these 2 columns. The percentage share and the number of trades. I will show you this in action. This is where it gets more exciting na, yung topic na to. Again, let's refresh the conditions. You test buy within the range of the top 5 most traded and the top 5 most voluminous prices. Again, picture nyo better. Okay? And I suggest, pag-uwi mamayang gabi or Sunday, you reproduce yung pinag-usapan natin. Could be about VNL or any other stock. Okay? Move forward tayo. Let's check this. Okay? And I'll go here. Of all these trades, ito yung may pinakamarami number of trades. Ayan. Sa aling presyo? 7 7.20. And, nasa baba, 7.29 or 7.30. Diba? Ayan. So, you now have an idea. While trading happens, so kaya kinabukasan, at least in your mind, anong meron kaya doon sa range na yun? Bakit doon sumiksik lahat ng trades? Yung mga tao doon bumibili. Diba? So instead na ang minomonitor mo ay yung intraday high, magmula intraday high hanggang intraday low, umiksi na lang kung kailangan mo i-monitor. Etong area na lang na to. Ayan. Okay? Now let's see the ayan, yung price na yun. Ayan, nakabas na. How about sa baba? Pansinin nyo, VNN. Last minute, naging 7.50. It jumped from 7.20 to 7.50 last minute yesterday. You cannot say, cross-trade lang yung nangyari dito sa 7.50. Hindi rin, 350. Kung saan ang pito lang yan, you can say, cross-trade lang nagpataas sa volume niya. Pero 370 yan. Hindi siya nalalayo dito sa 100 plus, dito sa previous slide. And it also got the biggest volume. Ayan, no? So mapapaisip ka na naman, anong meron doon sa 7.5? Ang laki ng volume, ang laki din ng number of trades. Hindi kaya next trading day, yan na naman ang favorite price ng mga traders? Diyan sila mag-aaba. Diba? Kasi favorite spot nila yun eh. Diba? So instead na nag-monitor ka from intraday high to intraday low, kukunti na lang ang pinapantay ng presyo. Okay? Next. Let's see this in action. Baka naman sabihin yung maganda lang yan sa theory, sa slide, sa PowerPoint. Well, let's test it. Okay? The proof is in the pudding. This is the 1-minute chart of VNN. Ano yung range na nakuha natin? Kanina, 7.22 hanggang 7.30. Ayan, no? Hindi ba? Hindi siya lumampas doon. So kung kunyari, nagte-trade ka sa first 50 to 30 minutes of trading, porque nakita mong pumalo siya somewhere dito, nasa 7.40, iisipin mo, ay, continue na to. It will now continue it will now continue its ascent. So anong gagawin mo? Ipaparada mo yung buying price mo doon sa malapit sa kanya. But if you have access to sa data na to, kay FirstMetroSec Pro, hindi ka magbabaka sakaling magko-continue yan. Magbabantay ka dito sa range na to. 7.20 to 7.30. Paano kung bumili ka doon, excite ka? Porque nakita mong umaarangkada siya, na-excite ka, bumili ka nga doon. And then, bumagsak siya dito. Pumasok sa range. Di, sakit na lang ng sama na loob mo nun. Diba? Bumagsak siya. Okay. So this is now the importance. We can now see the benefit of knowing the most voluminous and most traded prices. No? Mas madali yung kay FirstMetroSec na ganito kaysa doon sa magbasa ka ng intraday chart. Mas mabilis. At glance nakikita mo eh. Ayan, may graph siya eh. Ayan o. Parang battery. Okay? Now, your buying strategy is as important as your selling strategy. I'm showing you 2 ways on how to identify buy signals. It's about time now to teach you how to sell logically. Logically. Trailing stop loss. I say trailing stop loss, not the plain stop loss. Because a trailing stop loss can take note of these 2 things. 3 things rather. 3-letter P's. It protects your capital. It preserves your gains, if any. Meron. And it also prevents unbearable losses. Unbearable losses. Yesterday, a non-client sent me an email. He said, I've lost 80% of my capital already. I cannot tolerate it anymore, but I don't want to cut loss at the same time. Meaning to say that trader traded without checking his reward and risk tolerance, or ratio rather, reward to risk ratio. Okay? So take note, keep in mind, trailing stop loss. I'm going to show you in action how can you calculate, or how do you calculate a trailing stop loss? Okay? How does a trailing stop loss work? PSL for short. When the price goes up, you do an upward adjustment. Trailing nga kasi eh. But when the price goes down, do not do a downward adjustment. It stays the same. How can it lock in your profits kung nagka-downward adjustment ka? Make sense? Testingin natin. Okay pa? Okay pa? Okay, let's test DSL in action. Let's say you enter the position at 5.20 and then you apply the risk tolerance of 10%. Therefore, your initial trailing stop loss is at 4.68. Okay? Yan. This is a daily chart. Daily chart. Okay? Because kung 1-minute chart yan, tapos 10% ang risk mo, hindi applicable for me ang 10% risk tapos 1-minute chart yan. Mawiwipsoan, hindi o maaga dyan. So, daily chart natin. And, kung for me also, no, yung percentage of risk that we're going to apply, I suggest, tingnan nyo yung day changes, daily change ng stock. On average, at least for the past 30 trading days, ano yung average day change niyan? No? Nagti 3% lang ba yan? 5%? Umaabot ng 10%? You can use that to get an idea kung anong percentage of risk ang pwede mong i-apply. Okay, continue this. When the stock went up to 5.45, your new TSL got upgraded. It got upgraded from 4.68, it's now 4.91. And then, when it hit another high, your DSL got upgraded as well. Now, here, it went up again. Okay? It went up again. However, bumaba yung price. Of course, yung 7.20 mo na TSL mo, nahit na siya when the price drop as trading happens ng araw na yun. So, nag-profit taking ka. No? So, from entry price of 5.20, perhaps you profit at 7.20, not bad. Not bad. Ito yung mindset ng mga traders minsan. Gusto nila isagad yung earnings hanggang sa pinakahuling sentimo. Kahit yung mga farmers, sometimes hinahayaan nila yung ilang butil na malaglag. Same analogy lang. If it's a gain, it's a gain. No? Don't be greedy. Sometimes panalo na because of greed. Tatalo pa. Right? So that's a TSL in action. Now, effective next week, you already know how to find buy signals, what indicators to use to find buy signals, where to go on FirstMetroSec Pro to find the best range, where to wait and buy. You also know when to sell. Do not forget that. Okay? Don't just be an expert when it comes to buying. Be equally expert when it comes to selling. Walang sumasakay ng taxi tsaka nang tatanungin ng driver saan po ako bababa. But that happens in the stock market. And then now, you now know why your trade setup must have an entry and an exit plan. An entry and exit plan. Okay, now, for those who are looking for investment guides for long-term investing, trade setups for short-term trading and unlimited consultation as trading happens. You can visit www.equilyst.com, or that's the website. We don't do spoon feeding. Huh? We don't do spoon feeding. I would like all of my clients to exercise their ability to rationalize. I will tell you what I see, but I'm going to help you how to interpret it. But at the end of the day, you will have to make a decision based on three things. It's not in the slide anymore. Three things. Your personal financial goals, your investment horizon, lastly, your risk tolerance. No? Kahit na anong bearish ng analyst or bullish ng analyst, kahit pa paano may bahid ng kanyang personal financial goal, investment horizon, at risk tolerance yung kanyang interpretation. So may kanya-kanya tayo ng DNA. You will have to study yung binibigay na analysis sa inyo. Okay? So I hope you've learned from this session. So if you have some follow-up questions as well, aside those panel discussion later, you can feel free to follow me on social media. I respond to every personal message that I receive. Thank you, everyone.
Alright, thank you, Jaycee. Can we give Jaycee a louder round of applause, please?